A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Naik. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
A presidential task force for the protection of children, a pledge from the president. Nightclub owner in Anuradhapura stabbed to death. Spill gates of several reservoirs opened, more rain forecast for several parts of the island. University study reveals that severe congestion could limit vehicular speed in Colombo to 6 kilometers per hour.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that a special presidential task force will be established for the protection of children. The president made this observation while attending a function today.
The newly constructed three-story building of the Urapala Central College in Athanagalla was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena today. The building was constructed under the supervision of Chief Incumbent of the Athanagalla Rajamahaviharaya, Pannilistri Ananda Thera. A group including former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga were present for the occasion.
As far as I know, the main responsibility of protecting children lies with parents. Some parents may find fault with me for saying this, but a majority of the incidents related to children have happened in the country due to the shortcomings in the caring and protection given by parents or due to the lack of knowledge. I will establish a special presidential task force at the Presidential Secretariat next week. There are many individuals in our society who are like uncivilized animals who have no regard for the law. So it has become imperative that we protect our children from such individuals, and it is essential that we make it clear to parents on the importance of protecting their children.
දරුවන් රැක බලා ගැනීම පිළිබඳව වගකීම පැහැදිලි කිරීම අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
The owner of a nightclub on Mudita Street in Anuradhapura was stabbed to death last night by an unidentified group. The victim, Vasantati Soisa, is a reputed karateka who had set many records.
According to the police, a group of about 20 masked men had entered the nightclub around 11:45 last night. 3 workers at the nightclub were admitted to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital following the attack, which took place with the use of swords and clubs. Meanwhile, the police added that the assailants had damaged the property at the nightclub. The victim, Alexander Vikramavasantha Disoisa, is a father of 2.
The oldest worker in the hotel rushed to our house and told me that there is an emergency in the hotel and asked me to go with him. When we went there, there was a huge crowd. There were vehicles which were damaged. Then when I entered the hotel, I saw my father lying on the floor. There was a lot of blood on my father's head. There was no one to take the body. Then I called for help and put my father in a cab and rushed him to hospital.
The victim, Vasantha Disoisa, has set many adventure sport records. Meanwhile, the Anuradhapura police was able to find several pieces of cloth and fertilizer bags suspected to have been used by the unidentified group to cover their faces and body in a lane in close proximity to the Provincial Council building in Anuradhapura. Anuradhapura Magistrate Priyadarshini Karyavasam visited the crime scene today and conducted the magisterial inquest. No suspects have been arrested with regard to the incident, and 5 police teams have been deployed to investigate the murder.
We have not received any tip-off in relation to the suspects. The Anuradhapura police have commenced investigations to arrest the suspects. The reason behind the crime is also not clear. When the motive is uncovered, we can move further in the investigation.
Meanwhile, the police media spokesperson also commented on the allegation that the nightclub was functioning illegally without a license.
This nightclub has been raided by the police on a previous instance for running without a license. However, it is stated that the license was later obtained.
The Met Department is forecasting that showers will continue in several parts of the island due to a persisting atmospheric disturbance. Rainfall of more than 100 millimeters is expected over certain parts of the island.
Sluice gates of a number of reservoirs are being opened due to the persisting rainy weather conditions. This is the Veheragala Reservoir in Monoragala. 6 sluice gates of the reservoir were opened by 6 feet each. Assistant Director of the Monoragala Disaster Management Centre, Ravindra Kumara, said that the number of sluice gates that need to be opened may increase with the increase in rainfall. Meanwhile, 2 sluice gates of the Rajangane Reservoir had to be opened by a foot each due to the incessant rainy weather conditions in Anuradhapura. Water is being released from the reservoir at a rate of 600 cubic feet per second into the Kala Oya. Meanwhile, the Putlam Old Manor Road was inundated as the Kala Oya broke its banks. Our correspondent said that the road had to be closed as a result. Vehicular movement along the Hanguranketa Udagama roads and Udavatta road was disrupted due to the collapse of an earth embankment and boulders. Boulders and mounds of earth had collapsed onto the Navimana Somarama road in Mathura, hampering vehicular movement. Our cameras captured this footage of inundated roads in Batticaloa following heavy showers experienced over the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, over 100 people in Samimale have been affected by the overflowing of the Maskele Reservoir. The evacuees are currently being sheltered in secure locations. Heavy showers have also caused a significant rise in the water level of the Castlereagh Reservoir in Hatton. The Met Department, meanwhile, is forecasting that the persisting atmospheric disturbance over the island will cause more showers.
Rainfall of around 100 millimeters is expected in some parts of the island. However, the rainfall may decrease to some extent from tomorrow. There may be temporarily localized winds as thunder showers are expected in some parts of the island. We would like to request the public to exercise caution during lightning.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa met with a group of intellectuals at the Abhiyaramaya today.
As the media was not allowed to cover the meeting, journalists posed questions to the former president as he was leaving the premises on the construction of a bunker at President's house during his tenure.
It wasn't a palace, it was a bunker. I got instructions to build a bunker. This wasn't just for me. We held security meetings in that bunker. So in emergency situations, the Security Council could hold an emergency meeting and carry out operations from within this bunker. But from the outside, it looks like an ordinary house. That's how bunkers are built, aren't they? It was built a long time ago during the war when they were launching airstrikes at us. But Prabhakaran built bunkers too, didn't he? But that seems to be fine. This is great. A majority of the youth do not know that they came in planes and launched airstrikes at us. I do not know that. I do not look into those things. I do not look into the expenses. I said that this was necessary, so they did what was necessary. There is a bunker at Temple Trees too. So you need to help me. You put everything on air and we will say what we have to say, because Ranil Wickramasinghe is quite smart at joking around in Parliament. he continues to act out these days.
Even though the media were not allowed to cover the meeting today, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa delivered the speech he made at the Abhayarama Viharya on the resolution adopted on Sri Lanka in Geneva to the media.
After our government appointed a presidential commission on missing persons, headed by Supreme Court Judge Maxwell Paranagama, our government made arrangements for this commission based on a written request made by Maxwell Paranagama to obtain legal and written consultations from several experts on international law. Experts such as Sir Desmond De Silva, Sir Geoffrey Nice, Professor David Crane, Professor Michael Newton, Rodney Dixon and Major General John Holmes gave their valuable analysis to this commission. So this government of good governance had the responsibility of presenting the opinions of all these international experts to the members of the UN Human Rights Council. They had enough time too, but this government intentionally avoided doing this.
Welcome back. You're with News First. Chief Opposition Whip Kumara Dissanayake attended a party meeting in Trincomalee yesterday.
Some are still under the impression that they are above the law out of habit. These are the groups who never abided by the law under the previous government. So these recent incidents goes to show that they are still finding it difficult to adapt to a situation where they have to act in accordance with the law. I think any villager knows what a passport is and what it should be like, whether they can possess two passports or whether they can apply for visa on their old passport with a new picture of themselves. For those who thought that they were the law and above it, it will take some time for them to adapt to the new situation where they have to act in line with the law.
Speaking at an event held in Gannab, Hanguranketa, Minister S.P. Dissanayake commented on the Samurdhi welfare scheme.
The Samurdhi ministry, which I conceptualized as a very young minister, is now with me. At the same time, the Divi Nagama program, which was established during the time of President Mahinda Rajapaksa, through which his brother Basil was involved in major controversy and which led to the removal of the Chief Justice and which eventually caused the Rajapaksas to go home, is also under my wing at present. I have the Ministry of Social Services too, so I will be able to render many services to you. The Samurdhi benefit, elders welfare, disabled welfare, kidney disease welfare, all of this happens through my ministry.
The distribution of motorcycles for government officials took place at the Kaltara District Secretariat this morning under the auspices of Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne.
335 government officers of the Kalutara district were provided motorcycles. This project was initiated by the previous government, saying that the good done by people should be appreciated. We came to build a state of good governance. We are travelling towards it. You must be witnessing the change in the country. That change is not in the prices of goods and the cents. The world is respecting us not because of our economic targets. It is a change made in the country. Every citizen in this country has received democracy. Every citizen has been provided with the right to live in freedom. We have also given an opportunity for people to stand for their rights. No one can interfere. The Public Services Commission has been appointed, an independent state commission. With the powers vested with that commission, no one can interfere with it. The Public Service Commission is the only authority which can decide on the whole process of your employment as public officials from the appointment date till retirement. These are the changes that you can witness in any developed nation.
A coordination meeting of the Tamil National Alliance was held in Colombo today under the patronage of opposition leader R. Sampanthan.
Representatives of the Ilangai Tamil Arasi Kachu, EPRLF, Plot and Tello participated at this meeting. Several matters, including the establishment of the TNA as an accepted political party, were taken up for discussion at this meeting. Our party has a major responsibility with regard to the problem faced by the Tamil people. Several steps have been taken domestically and internationally with regard to this problem. Discussions will continue in the future. We will work together as a party.
A study conducted by the University of Murray indicates that if a sustainable solution is not adopted for traffic congestion in the Colombo city, the vehicular flow could slow down to 6 kilometers per hour in 5 years.
Over 300,000 vehicles enter the Colombo city daily. Of this number, 275,000 are private vehicles, while the number of commuter transport buses amounts to only 15,000. Amal Kumarage, Senior Professor of the Department of Transport and Logistics Management at the University of Moratuwa, says that the number of lorries and containers that enter the city every day stands at 10,000. Professor Kumarage further points out that at present the average vehicular speed in the Colombo city limits has reduced to 12 kilometers per hour.
Danata Colombo Tula Pavatina Vege.
At present, the average vehicular speed in Colombo has reduced to 12 kilometers per hour. That is the normal speed of a bicycle. In another 5 years, that means in 2020, this may reduce to 6 kilometers per hour. This may lead to the standstill of the entire economic process in the Colombo city. In order to bring in a permanent solution to this issue, we need to modernize the bus service in the western province. In order to solve this issue, priority should be given to vehicles transporting large numbers of people on roads with limited space. This is our proposal.
Traffic police have taken many measures in order to reduce the traffic congestion in Colombo and its suburbs. According to Professor Kumarage, the recently introduced one-way system is in fact an outdated system.
So far we have seen only short-term solutions. It has been instilled in the minds of people that this problem can be solved through the one-way system and through flyovers. When we look into these solutions, it shows that these solutions only take traffic from one place to another for a short term, and it does not solve the issue.
Professor Kumarage further noted that improving the public transport service is the best solution at present. He also points out that widening the road system in Colombo and allocating more lanes for commuter transport buses is also essential.
The solution adopted by the police for traffic congestion does not address the root cause. The one-way system is not at all practical. This government has not yet taken any measures to give priority to public transport. This traffic congestion is an adverse effect of this lack of attention to public transport. Public transport service needs to be strengthened. We cannot put out any restrictions on anyone. There will be only one person travelling in a car. Even when 1,000 cars travel, only around 1,000 can be accommodated. But for 10 buses, 1,000 passengers can be accommodated. So few more luxury buses must be put in place. It's impossible to travel in the morning hours. It takes a long time.
Also in local news, the All Ireland Hay Planters Association staged a protest today requesting a fair price for their produce and subsidies.
The protest was staged at the Bulat Singhala bus depot.
So far, only 500 to 600 kilos of tea is manufactured per acre every month. The price of a kilo of tea has fallen to 50 to 53 rupees. So we only gain around 8 or 5 rupees. This has also affected the manufacturers. Several factories are closed down due to this issue. The tea plant has fallen from the Mahinda Chintana frying pan to the good governance fire. When a kilo of tea is exported to other countries, a cess tax of 13 rupees and 50 cents is being charged. And that cess tax is what should be utilized to aid the tea planters.
The matter was also discussed on the Satna program telecast yesterday.
The tea industry has completely collapsed. There are problems in the Mathura district and in the Kalutara and Kegor regions. Politicians don't seem interested. Around 10 tea factories have been closed down in the Mathura district. Every year taxes are imposed for tea. The taxes imposed are for the development of that particular industry. The government gains an income of 6 to 7 billion through this. So that should be utilized for the development of the tea industry. When a problem occurs in the industry, the tax revenue should be utilized. The previous government used taxes to pay off their debt. We have no idea where the funds are being kept now. Whenever there is a problem in the industry, the cess tax revenue is unknown.
The budget was presented in the recent past, wasn't it? A fair price for rubber was decided after a budget allocation. It wasn't done according to their whim, was it?
Money has not been allocated. A method has been established for the income and expenditure.
So under this method, they have to give a certified price for rubber. And under this method, you can also give a certified price for paddy. Are you giving it?
It was given, but not at present.
Was it to be given only until the elections? Isn't there sufficient funds?
No, there isn't.
Tonight on our investigative journalism segment Action TV, we present the first part of our investigation into the curious case of a missing case report.
The assassination of parliamentarian Nalanda Ellawala on the 11th of February 1997 in the Kuruwita town gave rise to a tense situation and clashes in many parts of the Ratnapura district. Against a backdrop where rumours were spread that MP Nalanda Ellawala was shot dead by then UNP MP Susantha Punchinilame, it was supporters of the UNP that were victimised in the post-assassination violence. This wave of violence extended to Siripagama in Girimale at the foot of Sripada. A.M. Kularatna, who was conducting a successful business here, was also a victim of this violence. However, in his case, his status as a UNP supporter was not the only motivation for the attack. 6 of the 9 persons who set fire to Kularatna's shop in Siripagama a day after the assassination of Nalanda Ellawala had a different bone to pick with him. This is because the 6 persons in question were accused in the killing of MP Atula Artigala a year earlier in 1996, and because Kularatna, through a twist of fate, became a witness for the prosecution. The foundation of Kularatna's shop, which was burnt down under the facade of inter-party violence following the killing of Nalanda Ellawala, can still be seen today. Kularatna had testified in court when the case pertaining to the killing of MP Atula Artigala was taken up, noting that the group who set fire to his shop had warned him prior to leaving to put up a banner over the smouldering ruins, noting that he is withdrawing as a witness in the case. The case pertaining to the killing of Atula Artigala has not been concluded as yet. Nevertheless, on the 29th of July 2008, the Ratnapura High Court issued its verdict in the case pertaining to the burning of Kularatna's shop. However, even this case is still a burden for Kularatna. Incidentally, this is not because the case is in the appeals process. More on this story tomorrow on Action TV.
The annual research symposium of the Faculty of Graduate Studies of the University of Colombo was held this morning.
Minister of Justice and Buddhist Affairs Vijayadasa Rajpaksha was a keynote speaker for the event.
Efficiency at national level is a function of several factors. Application of modern technology, human capital development, application of modern management techniques, environment management, profit sharing, good governance, maintenance of law and order, political and economic stability, protection of human rights, conflict resolution and ethnic harmony. These conditions could only be met with a strong body of knowledge on a range of issues relating to Sri Lankan society, its culture, religion, gender, education, legal system, household income and expenditure.
Over 80% of the 2024 age group and 46% of the 17-19 age group are not in any form of education or technical and vocational training. Among the age cohort of 20 to 24 years, only 3.6% is studying in universities. Knowledge-based economies have a stronger demand for higher level skills, including those with tertiary level education.
And in sports news, rain prevented any play today on day 4 of the second test of the West Indies tour of Sri Lanka. Rains persisted at the Pisara Oval in Colombo today, prompting the umpires to call off play at 2:45 p.m. without a single delivery being bowled. The West Indies need 224 runs to win with 9 wickets in hand. Meanwhile, South Africa trounced India in the 5th and final ODI after the Proteas posted a mammoth total of 438 for the loss of 4 wickets. The Indians were bowled out for 224, handing the Proteas a 214-run victory. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.